Hello my dear students. In this video I am going to discuss about the very last chapter, that is the management of natural resource. Here in this chapter you are going to learn about the natural resources and the need to manage our resources. In the next part of this video I will discuss about forest and wildlife, thereafter deforestation and sustainable management and conservation of forest. And then I will discuss about water for all, dams, water harvesting, watershed management, and finally I am going to discuss about coal and petroleum. So in this video I am going to discuss about the natural resource and need to manage our resources. So let's start with the video. So what are natural resources? Anything which is useful to man or can be transformed into a more valuable and useful source is called a resource. A natural resource is one where the source is obtained from nature. So here you can understand forest, wildlife, water, coal and petroleum are the important natural resources. The development which meets the current basic need of human and also preserves the resource for the need of the future generation is called sustainable development. To achieve sustainable development as well as to conserve our environment, we must use our natural resources judiciously. For a better understanding of the natural resource, it is necessary to classify them on the basis of their abundance or availability. Broadly, the natural resources are categorized into two types. They are the inexhaustible natural resources and the exhaustible natural resources. So, what are inexhaustible natural resources? The natural resources which are not likely to be exhausted by human use are called inexhaustible natural resources. They are like air, water and solar radiations. While exhaustible natural resources are those resources which are likely to be exhausted by non-judicious human use, like the renewable natural resources and non-renewable natural resources. So what are renewable natural resources? These resources can replenish themselves by recycling and replacement within a reasonable time, but become non-renewable if it is not managed properly, like soil, forest and wildlife. While non-renewable natural resources are those resources which cannot be replenished themselves by recycling or replacement and may be exhausted in future, like coal, mineral, petroleum, etc. So all types of resources need management, while some require both conservation as well as management. So both these items have been defined like conservation and management. So what is conservation? It means to increase the preservation of quality environment with aesthetic and recreational values, where management is to ensure a continuous yield of useful plants, animals and materials by establishing a balanced cycle of harvest and renewal. So there are some environmental problems. Let's discuss about that. As I have stated above, that the resources which cannot be renewed, they are called non-renewable natural resources. Protection of such resources is necessary so that they could be conserved. The non-judicious use of such natural resources creates global level problem as we feel helpless to make any changes. There are international laws and regulations to protect the environment. Also, there are own national laws and acts that protect our environment. So here we are going to learn about a short issue about Ganga Action Plan. What is Ganga Action Plan? In short, it is known as GAP. Now, awareness always leads to some action. This can be understood with the help of Ganga Action Plan. The river Ganges is not only held sacred but also it supplies water to more than 50 million people in India. It flows for 2,500 kilometers from Gangotri in the Himalayas to Ganga Sagar in the Bay of Bengal. Ganga, along with its tributaries, is the largest river basin of the country. On the way, it passes through over 100 towns and cities of Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal. It is being turned into a dirty water drain due to the following factors like disposal of untreated sewage, garbage and excreta, discharge of poisonous chemicals effluents by the industries, immersion of ashes and damping of unburnt corpses, human activities like bathing, washing of clothes, etc., and as well as wailing of cattle. The increased pollution load and the resulting toxicity of water kills the fish in many parts of the river. Thus, the Ganga Action Plan was initiated to reduce pollution load of river Ganga by more than 75%. The important aspects of the Ganga Action Plan are diversion of the sewers away from the river, treatment of the sewage and changing it to an energy source, development of river fronts and ghats, construction of electrical crematories, construction of community toilets, and setting up of effluent treatment plants by the industries. So, how can you understand that the river water has been contaminated? There are two ways to study it. One is the total coliform count, and second is to study the pH of the water. So, what is coliform count? Coliform is a group of bacteria found in the human intestine. The presence of this bacteria in the river water indicates that the river water is contaminated by disease-causing microorganisms. This is because that coliform itself is harmless, but its presence in the river water indicates that the other harmful intestinal bacteria might also be present. And the pH of water, if the pH of water stands to be acidic or basic, then it should be checked with the help of universal indicator, and if the pH is found to be below 7 or above 7, then the river water is contaminated, either acidic or basic, then it is unfit for human consumption. So this was all about today's topic. In the next video, I will discuss about the need to manage our resources. There we will study about the 5 type of R's to save the environment, that are reduce, reuse, recycle, repurpose and refuse. Thanks for watching the video. Take care.